CVM TV's weekly JPL preview show every Sunday, starting 30 minutes before our live broadcast. Get insight, analysis, and hear from your favorite players weekly, just before we bring you our feature broadcast for the day. Move from defense to attack and join us in the final third. This and every Sunday until the end of the JPL season.
Tell me something that makes a bubble bath even more enjoyable.
Candles. Music. Another person?
It was going so well. Until...
How about some toys?
Your daughters are so embarrassed.
All new.
Good answer.
Family Feud.
Brought to you by We Are the Caring Store, waiting to serve you. It's time to experience independent living. Visit us today.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at noon for Monday, January 20, 2025. I'm Ramon Gordon. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a big day for the United States. Donald Trump is being sworn in as the 47th President of the U.S. in a historic ceremony at the country's capital. The inauguration, originally scheduled for the Capitol's West Lawn, has been moved indoors due to extreme cold, the first indoor ceremony since 1985. Earlier, Trump and First Lady Melania Trump attended a traditional church service at St. John's Episcopal Church. Vice President J.D. Vance is also set to be sworn in alongside his wife. Security remains heightened across Washington, D.C. as the day's events continue. Donald Trump now becomes the first U.S. president since Grover Cleveland to serve non-consecutive terms. He's also the first president to assume office with a felony record. Culture Minister Olivia Babsy-Grange has welcomed the pardon of Marcus Garvey, Jamaica's first national hero, calling it a critical step in righting a historic wrong. Grange, however, is urging a full exoneration or expungement, rather, of Garvey's 1923 mail fraud conviction to completely clear his name and further preserve his legacy.
Actions were not criminal actions, but were acts of liberation with moral justification. So what we need is an expungement of Garvey's record in America, similar to what was done by the Jamaican Parliament. We have been on this journey for a very long time, and we must continue the advocacy for the removal of this criminal record against our hero. This pardon comes after many, many years of advocacy by successive Jamaican governments.
Retired Senior Superintendent of Police Steve McGregor has been named by the People's National Party as their candidate for Kingston Central, ahead of the general election expected by September. McGregor outlined several plans for the constituency during an interview on CVM's Lead Story and expressed confidence in his chances.
Most of the initiatives that we use were crafted by myself. They are still there at Central. I can speak to the commander, the community safety officers. They are there waiting for me to work with them, to bring them closer to the citizenry so we can bring that semblance of calm.
Content creators are relieved after the U.S. lifted a short-lived ban on TikTok, which lasted nearly a day. Many had expressed concerns about the potential impact on their livelihoods. Popular Jamaican TikTok creator Justin Lowe weighed in, saying the ban would affect him and many others relying on the platform.
And I do make money off of the videos from the Creator Rewards program that they have in America. So if your account is based in America, you find that you can make money off of that. So losing that is kind of what results from the TikTok ban, losing that secondary source of income, which is nice because you have your 9 to 5 that you work, so you make your money. But then the secondary source of income as TikTok, getting paid from views especially, is something that's nice because it's kind of like a secondary source of disposable income. So I can go take it, go eat a food, go buy some, buy a coffee or something. To put it in one word, I would probably call it maybe a little bit disappointed. Primarily because it feels like our right to express ourselves in some way is being taken away by the government. It is disappointing because you do feel like there are ways or there are other problems that can be, taken on by the government rather than an app on which people find so much happiness and joy and community, and people have their own small businesses on as well, and people have their livelihoods on as well.
And as businesses grow globally, Attorney at Law Ewan Simpson is urging operators to trademark their business information to avoid losses and legal issues.
Marks are protectable in classes and categories. So, for example, if you have a mark that is representing food services, for example, and someone comes and uses a similar mark that's representing, let's say, garments, or that is representing teaching and instruction, some kind of educational institution, they might not necessarily have a challenge with cohabiting in this space. But of course, everybody wants to do merchandise now. So the food business might want to do memorabilia, and the school might want to do memorabilia. Now we have a problem.
Right.
He also cited how long trademarks last for.
However, even if you register it, the life of that registration is 10 years. So every 10 years, you need to come back, go back to the trademarks registry and renew that registration. So trademark can be perpetual, but it has to be triggered every 10 years. Every 10 years.
Spanish Town Mayor Norman Scott says discrepancies in the Municipal Social Assistance Program flagged by the Auditor General have been corrected. Trisha Kelly has the details in this report. We'll come back to that story. In the meantime, sidewalks in Kingston and St. Andrew have become battlegrounds. In the fight to restore order, authorities warn if individuals continuously use these walkways for reasons outside of their main purposes, they will face legal consequences. Here's more from Shante McNeil.
Illegal garage operators in Kingston and St. Andrew who continue to use sidewalks for their businesses could soon face legal action. The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, is cracking down on those defying its directives to relocate their operations. City Inspector Alaric Francis issued a stern warning on Friday.
The sidewalk is for pedestrians to use. The roadway, again, it is for vehicular traffic and to traverse. It is not to operate garage operation. And so I'm going to ask persons who continue to do this practice to cease and desist. The team will be going around serving these notices, and once there's no compliance, we will be taking the necessary action. Not just to come and remove, but to take the legal action.
Since last year, the KSAMC, in partnership with the National Solid Waste Management Authority and the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Public Safety Branch, has issued over 1,000 notices under the parochial road law. The initiative seeks to remove derelict vehicles and illegal garages clogging streets and sidewalks. Francis highlighted the dangers imposed by derelict vehicles, some of which have reportedly been used by criminals. Despite notices, some operators remain defiant.
And we have seen where some residents have complied with the notices served, but the majority have not. And because they have not, we are out here and we are doing what we are supposed to be doing, where we are removing these derelict from the roadway and sidewalk.
Francis also underscored the health benefits of clearing the sidewalks and roadways.
Each area that we have gone so far and removed derelict vehicles, you will see a myriad of garbage built up in these areas and rodent infestation. So it is not just where we are removing derelict vehicles, but it's where we are promoting public safety and also public health.
He insists these enforcement activities will continue weekly as the KSAMC intensifies efforts to make Kingston and St. Andrew safer and cleaner for all. Shante McNeil, CVM News.
And with that, we take a quick break. CVM News at Noon continues in just a moment.
Make yourself comfortable in authentic Hanes underwear. Nothing beats the never out of style ultra soft 100% premium cotton Hanes underwear. Hanes Comfort Fit V, crew neck and A shirts, absorbent Hanes socks, Comfort Flex Hanes boxer briefs for men, and stylish itch-free Hanes underwear for women and kids. Make yourself comfortable this holiday season, inside, out, and underneath with Hanes underwear for that cool all-day comfort everyone deserves.
I only have Hanes for you.
We needed to raise capital, but our experience with local financial institutions was that they were cautious and slow to act, and interest rates were far too high. We had real concerns about financing our business through outside equity investors and the possibility of interference. Could we get a fair valuation for our business? We had our own ideas about the business and its value. Should I go the traditional route of bank financing, or should I try the Jamaica Stock Exchange? So we made a call and experienced transformation of our business through conversations. I'm John Mafood, CEO of Jamaican Teas, and we're listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Give us a call today at 876-967-3271 to begin your transformation through conversation. We want to see your company listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Welcome everybody, we are back.
Season 2 of the Holy Road, Season 2, we are here. Let me tell you, I am super excited to be on for another season to show you the Holy Road.
Listen, new adventures, we might be moving further out of Kingston, further out of anywhere nearby, to find the crevices and the corners that have the most unique stories.
CVM TV and live Jamaica Premier League action on a Monday night. A match made in heaven. We call it Monday Match Night. Catch all the hard-pounding JPL Monday night action from now until the end of the season on CVM TV's Monday Match Night. Matchday Mondays at 7:45 to 5 p.m. with rebroadcast Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Nothing else can quite match up. Monday Match Night, powered by Sunshine Snacks and ABC Electrical.
Welcome back. It's time for our discussion segment. Jamaican patois is world-renowned and is often thought to be the official language of Jamaica. But guess what? It isn't. Should it even be considered an official language? Joining us to discuss this and more are O'Neill Madden, linguist and researcher, and Dr. Deidre Telfa, lecturer and researcher, both from the Language Teaching and Research Center at the University of Technology, Jamaica. Welcome again to you both.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Dr. Telfer, let's start with you. Where do you stand on the matter? Should patois be an official language? What's your rationale? What's your reasoning?
So first and foremost, my answer is yes. And my reasoning is it is a language. It's a language of the people. It's a language of majority of Jamaicans, and we are we are disenfranchising others who are unable to speak what we have termed the official language, which is English. So we expect certain things. People are discriminated against based on their speech, right? They're unable to speak English properly, and they're treated differently. Our children enter our schools largely as native Creole speakers, and they're treated as if they are speakers of English. So that's my rationale, really. It is our language, right? It is the language of the majority of the people, and based on research, the people want it as an official language. So that's my rationale, really.
Mr. Madnat, the base and fundamental of everything, language is but a system of expression, yes? So what do you make of the aversion to recognizing patois as an official language? What have you been hearing from persons who are opposed to it?
All right, that's an interesting question because I'm currently working on a research looking at undergraduate students' perception towards Jamaican Creole being an official language. And so far, we've been seeing an ambivalence because on the one hand, they're saying patois should be accepted in more formal spaces, but on the other hand, they're saying it should not be an official language.
That's curious.
But acceptance, in formal spaces, then it automatically ought to become an official language. But I think, it goes back to that notion of identity struggle and an acceptance that we're actually bilingual speakers. A lot of us have in Jamaican Creole as the dominant language on the language continuum. So people want to be able to express themselves freely in a language in which that they're comfortable, or because of the attitudes and perceptions that we've had over time, there is such a level of aversion from some amongst the population.
Dr. Teflar, what do you say to critics who will say patois is not a real language because there are too many deviations of such? Yes? What is your response to that specific critique?
Well, English is not a real language either. Because I don't know if there's any other language that has as many deviations as English.
Doctor,
right?
sorry to cut you, but let's backtrack before we even go any further. For our audience,
right.
What is a language? Describe that for us. Set that fundamental.
So a language is a system of symbols that we use to communicate, to get messages across from one person to another, all right? And Jamaican can get any message across as effectively, and in many cases, because of who we're dealing with, more effectively than English. All right. I think the struggle continues to be because we're in a situation where what we call the super straight language, English, provides the majority of our vocabulary, right? We continue to see it see Jamaican as just bad English, but Jamaican has a completely different system, grammar, than English. And once we start to look at it in its own right and stop saying, oh, let's compare it to English, then we start to see the differences. I just finished teaching a Jamaican module to my students here. We had fun with it. And one of the things that they struggle with, because one of the other complaints is, oh, you can write it anyway. But just like any other language that has a writing system, you go through a process and until the writing system is accepted. And so we don't have those excuses anymore because we have a writing system that has been in existence from 1960s, all right? And that was recently modified by the Jamaican Language Unit and has been in use. We see it in the patois dictionary, Bible, right? So we do have systems in place. I won't say we have everything in place, but it's all a process.
Doc, I'm going to take a point that Doc said a while ago to start this question. Some persons will say that we ought to be focusing on mastering the English language before we consider anything else. I'm of the view that we can probably focus on both simultaneously. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Madden.
Right, and because I am actually a multilingual speaker, we can actually learn different languages at the same time. There's nothing that prevents you from, learning multiple languages. And so here, that is really a basic view to say that let's master English